Pushed way out of its comfort zone and into high-stakes flagship redesign last season, Samsung baked what it does best, making itself comfortable at the top of the heap. Yet this isn't exactly a galaxy far away. The Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge looks a lot like its predecessor. Samsung indeed focused on refinement this time around. Hi guys, welcome to the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge full review July 2016. If you would like to know more details, then continue watching this video. Anyway, the real deal is on the inside. If only you look at the features it brings back, such as water protection and a micro SD card slot, you may conclude that the Galaxy S7 Edge is what the predecessor should have been. But that's not where the hardware novelties in attention to the Galaxy S7 Edge camera review conclude that the dual pixel autofocus, wider aperture and bigger pixel size more than make up for the lower sensor resolution. The Galaxy S7 pair is powered by either Snapdragon 820 or the latest Exynos 8890, each with 4GB of RAM. There is a bigger display with an always-on option and more robust battery too. The Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge runs the latest Android, of course, skin with the latest TouchWiz. The main key features include curved 5.5-inch Super AMOLED display of 440 pixel resolution, 534 ppi, always-on capabilities with Gorilla Glass for front and rear panels, IP68 certified, dust-proof and water-resistant. The global model comes with Exynos 8890 chipset octa-core processor with 4 2.6 GHz Mingos and 4 1.6 GHz Cortex-A53 cores, Dimali T88 MP12 GPU and 4 GB of RAM. 12 megapixel f1.7 main camera with face detect autofocus, optical image stabilization, LED flash. Video recording includes 2160 pixel at 30 frames per second, 1080 pixel at 60 frames per second, 720 pixel at 240 frames per second. 5 megapixel front facing camera also having f1.7 440p video recording at 30 frames per second, 32 and 64 gig of built-in storage, micro SD card up to 200 gigabit, high-speed connectivity, 4G LTE, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, NFC, GPS, etc. Also comes with the non-removable bigger battery 3600 mAh, which support fast charging and fast wireless charging. Now looking at the main pros and cons. The pros include premium metal glass build, comfortable to hold, sharp, vibrant screen, micro SD card, returns, wireless charging, water, dust resistant, fantastic camera, long battery life, improved edge functionality, improved fingerprint sensor. And the cons include weak tiny speaker, glass is still a fingerprint magnet, software has a lot of redundancy. Now if you look at the design and the build quality, the most immediate difference you will notice between the Galaxy S7 Edge and its predecessor is the phone size. The Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge offers a 5.5-inch display, making it noticeably larger than the standard Galaxy S7, giving you more screen for all your gaming and media consumption needs. Sure, the phone takes a small hit when it comes to one-hand usability, but thanks to the way that the edge curves down, it's really not as big of a difference as you might think. Aside from the larger display, the Galaxy S7 Edge looks very similar to its predecessor, though Samsung has managed to sneak in a few adjustments to the design. First, the camera bump has been noticeably reduced when compared to the S6 Edge. The camera still protrudes a little, but 8.5mm. It's going to be a lot less bothersome than the camera bump on its predecessor. Next, the Galaxy S7 Edge is marginally thicker than its predecessor. That might sound like a bad thing, but the added thickness actually helps with grip. As an added bonus, this thicker profile also means Samsung was able to cram in a large battery. Probably the most helpful design change found at the Galaxy S7 Edge. Between the curved back, slightly thicker design, the larger screen size, Samsung has managed to create a phone that is extremely comfortable in hand. Even though it's bigger, it's a lot more comfortable. For being a 5.5-inch phone, it's a lot smaller than many other phones with similar screen size. That said, it is a bit slippery, but not to the point that you have to worry about it falling out of your hand. It's also a fingerprint magnet, though new coating makes it a little less prone than the S6 family before it. Of course, most of you will end up placing the phone in a case, which will render both the slippery nature of the phone and its fingerprint prone aspects completely moot. On the front, you will find Samsung's typical home button, flanked to the left by a recent apps key and to the right by the back button. All the typical sensor and the front-facing camera are found here as well. On the left side of the phone are the volume keys, and to the right is the power button. Up top there is nothing but the same SD card slot. On the bottom you will find the headphone jack to the left, the micro USB slot in the middle, and the single speaker to the right. The micro USB slot is probably the most interesting story here because Samsung is sticking to its gun with the Galaxy S7 Edge has chosen not to adopt the new USB-C standard. Why is Samsung sticking to micro USB while many of its rivals including the LG G5 and the Nexus family make the move? Probably the biggest reason is the Gear VR just hit commercially late last year, rocking a micro USB connection. And so it stands to reason that Samsung wouldn't want to abandon this model so soon. It's also very possible Samsung simply wanted to wait until the standard found its way into more accessories. Those with hundreds of micro USB cable laying around, the company's refusal to jump to USB Type-C probably isn't seen as much of a problem. Bottom line, the Galaxy S7 Edge might not look dramatically different from its predecessor, but little touches like a great feel in the hand help create what is easily one of the most attractive looking handsets in the mobile world right now. When it comes to display quality, it's hard to beat Samsung, and thankfully the S7 Edge continues this legacy. While the S7 Edge Super AMOLED 5.5-inch display having pixel density of 534 ppi, larger size means a better experience for watching movies, playing games, and pretty much anything else you might want to do. Everything we love about AMOLED tech is present here in the S7 Edge, including vibrant saturated colors, great viewing angles, inky dark blacks, and brightness that's more than good enough even when using the phone outdoors. Looking at the performance and hardware, in most markets the S7 Edge is powered by Exynos 8890, consisting of quad-core 2.6 GHz Mongoose plus quad-core 1.6 GHz Cortex A53 and backed by Mali T88 MP12 GPU and 4 GB of RAM. If you are wondering about overheating, nothing seems to have any trouble here. Part of this could come down to Samsung inclusion of a heat pipe that draws away residual heat, but the phone would get a little warm under intensive use but not to the point of discomfort. In regular use like browsing the web or lighter apps, there was really no noticeable heat for me at all. Now let's look at other key pieces of hardware worth discussing. First one is that micro SD card has made a comeback. Probably one of the most controversial changes made for the Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge where the removal of SD card has been returned now. In addition to 32 GB of internal storage, the micro SD card slot allows you to expand memory up to 200 GB. That said, it's important to note that Marshmallow's adaptable storage isn't officially available here. You are able to manually transfer many of the Galaxy S7 Edge apps from internal storage over to micro SD card. That might not be as helpful as having it done automatically, but it's still nice to know you aren't just limited to storing music, movies, and other general files on your micro SD card. The second, that Galaxy S7 Edge gains water resistance. The Galaxy S7 Edge offers an IP68 rating, meaning it should be able to handle full submersion water up to 3 feet deep for up to 30 minutes. Third is the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor feels a lot faster and more accurate over the S6 or even the Note 5, and very rarely did you will find the sensor not reading your fingerprint on the first attempt. And lastly, if we look at the speakers, connectivity, and the rest of the things, while many folks tend to use headphones or earbuds most of the time when consuming media or listening to the music, if you are the type that uses the built-in speaker, we must warn you, it's far from the best we have ever heard. Bottom line, the speaker experience is possible but certainly won't blow you away. As for the rest, the Samsung has all the bells and whistles you would expect from Samsung device such as NFC, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and heart rate monitor. For the battery life, the 3600 mAh battery found in the Galaxy S7 Edge makes it easy enough to get through a full day's use. And honestly, with a bit lighter use, you will have no trouble making it through a day and a half or more. Bottom line, the battery life in the Galaxy S7 Edge is exceptional, and if you do find yourself needing a bit extra juice, Samsung's quick charging and fast wireless charging here in all its glory. Looking at the camera, while Samsung has always done a pretty job doing when it comes to camera quality in its smartphones, Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge 12 megapixel camera has an f1.7 aperture lens, Camera's features include optical image stabilization, face detection, autofocus, LED flash, and dual pixel technology. The end result is camera with noticeably faster autofocus over competing flagship smartphones, especially in low light. As for video recording, there is plenty of modes here, including the ability to take 4K videos and OIS to help footage from getting too shaky. On the front, you will find a 5 megapixel camera that performs about how much you would expect. You can certainly get some pretty good selfies, and you are actually able to record a QHD resolution. Summing it up, the camera experience on the Galaxy S7 Edge is much better, and it's still one of the best smartphone cameras available. Talking about the camera software, looking at the camera interface, you will find typical modes like Auto, Pro and Panorama, as well as some of the Samsung special modes like Slow Motion, YouTube Live Broadcast and Selective Focus. Samsung's take on Apple's Live Photos for the iPhone by the addition of a new feature, Motion Photo, that records a short clip before a photo is taken. You might find it worth messing around with. Discussing the software, we know that for a long time TouchWiz has been criticized for being overly heavy and bloated, but this change, as Samsung trimmed down the number of pre-installed apps, ditched a lot of its more gimmicky features, and made many of its extras disabled by default. This meant that the out-of-box experience was pretty clean and easy to dive into. The whole experience is actually very fluid and quite impressive this time. The user interface also feels pretty snappy, and the aggressive RAM management issues no longer be a problem. Honestly, things seem here to be even more refined with the latest Marshmallow build of TouchWiz. Also, Samsung's theming engine gives you the flexibility to change up the look and feel a bit. That said, we did want to focus on a few key features of the user interface. The first is the Smart Dialer. Samsung Smart Dialer is clean, easy to use. There is also the ability to reject calls with a predefined message or quickly shoot the caller with a custom message. For the multitasking, Samsung multitasking modes such as splitting your screen to moving things around a floating window, everything was fast and fluid here, and while not everyone will use these features, I found them pretty useful personally. Samsung Smart Manager aims to make it easier to see information about your battery life, your remaining RAM and storage space, as well as details on security with the ability to scan for malware and turn on options like Knox. As for battery, you can quickly turn on power saving mode, ultra power saving mode, check out app power saving details, and access your battery usage information. This is without a doubt the most useful part of the Smart Manager. Also, for your gaming experience, added gaming tools. Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge's new game launcher and its accompanying gaming tools features gathers up all your games into a special folder and allows you the option to turn off alerts, locks, recent and back keys, minimize the game, take a screenshot, or even record what's going on your screen. Finally, in the UI improvements also include Edge features improvements. Samsung's Edge features receive a few new tweaks. You still get Edge lighting, Apps Edge and People Edge. The interface is now wider and allows for twice as many app shortcuts. Samsung has also added the Task Edge that lets you create shortcuts for common tasks like taking selfies, creating calendar events, editing alarms, composing emails, and much more. Finally, concluding my impressions, the bottom line is that the Galaxy S7 Edge might not be the perfect phone, but it's damn close. If you want a well-performing phone with great looks and just about every feature you could possibly want, the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge is worthy of your consideration. Yes, it's possible to get a pretty high-end Android experience for hundreds less with devices such as the Nexus 6P, Motorola Moto X Pure Edition, and several others. Of course, these phones also come with their own set of compromises, sacrifices, and quirks. Ultimately, it comes down to whether you feel that S7 Edge's features, performance, and good looks merit its price tag. Some of you will say yes, others will say no. As always, that's the beauty of choice in the world of Android. Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge continues what the S6 Edge started and has significantly perfected the Edge formula in 2016. Once again, if you guys enjoy this video review, do really hit the like button as it helps really to the channel a lot. Subscribe and comment for more nice videos like this coming up to the channel. Hope to meet you guys in the next one. Peace.